the great Satan himself.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Have I Got Some Shit Beer For You? I've got this stuff. The F word, dare I say it. The amber nectar. Why am I doing this? Foster's. Everybody's tried it. Some people like it. I know quite a few people that actually like this stuff. One of my mates went to the wedding and he brought some of this with him. He didn't drink them though, he left a load and drank someone else's beer. A dirty bastard. But he's a hardened Foster's drinker, and I know at least 3 others who will drink nothing else but Foster's. It just goes to show, you know, what do we know about taste? You know, we're trying out all these beers and there's just people determined to drink this stuff. This stuff is got quite an interesting history. It's got alarm bells just looking at the history. It's owned by AB InBev, who I think have just sold it to, is it Asahi or Asahi? I can't pronounce it. The Japanese company who owns Fuller's. I think they've just sold it to them, AB InBev. Heineken owns the rights to brew it in Europe. And I think it's in Canada, Molson Coors own the rights to distribute it and brew it over there, and in the USA it's Miller Coors. Oh, it's just every fucking bad brewery has got their mucky paws in this stuff, and it varies in ABV. Over here it's 4%, in the USA it's 5%. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. But this stuff goes back to 1886. It was actually started by 2 Irish Americans who went to Australia, to Melbourne, and they started brewing beer over there. And it was only brewed in bottles and cans. And the bottles, I think, were exported to Australian troops who were fighting in the Boer War. And that would have been 1899 to 1901. So it obviously took off quite quickly. And they used an adjunct in there that was sugar. Or cane sugar, but it was like an unrefined cane sugar, which made it quite sweet. In the UK in 1971 it was brought over here, and in 1981 it was first brewed for draft distribution, and that was done by Truman of London, and I think they sold it to, I think it was Courage in 1986, and they started brewing and distributing it as well. I mean, it's just got everything bad about it, isn't it? It's one of them beers that everybody knows. I remember in the 80s, in pubs, that was the lager. You had an influx of Australian lager. You had Castlemaine 4X, you had Tooheys, Swan and Foster's. They were the 4 big ones that I remember from Australia. And they was all shit. And it just goes to show, and I really do sort of struggle with the concept that decent lager couldn't be brewed in this country. It was all terrible. It just tasted bad, but we'd be just necking it because we didn't know any different. And you look at it now and you think, Christ almighty, we didn't have to put up with some shit back then. I'm sure the same goes for other styles of lager, but for other styles of beer, sorry, but yeah, they were dark times. Anyway, let's investigate this beer. Right, it's a 440ml can. Again, this was never the case. This was always a 500ml can. It's 4.4% ABV. I'm sure it was slightly higher than that. I'm sure it's 4.3 or something like that, but that's what it is now. Ingredients: water, malted barley, glucose syrup, barley, hops, hop extract. you know, it's just everything. Anything. Why do you have to put glucose syrup into a fucking beer? I will never know. But there you have it. Now, I'll get onto the ingredients, the actual ingredients, while I'm doing the appearance and the aroma. No, fuck it, I'll do it now. I will do it now. So this uses hops called Pride of Ringwood hops. Okay, they're grown in Australia, and apparently, so I've been told, they only come from 2 farms in Melbourne. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but fuck me, they must have, well, Australia's massive and it is quite an agricultural country, but they must be absolutely vast if that is the only place they're sourcing their hops from. I cannot see that. Surely there must be somewhere else that they're doing that. But then Pride of Ringwood hops, they are known for their woody, earthy and herbal notes. Not that it's going to make much difference in that if you've got a load of glucose syrup on the top, but they only use the oil apparently because it's a high alpha acid hop, and you don't really want to be boiling that too much, otherwise it's just going to be so bitter. But that's what they do, they just use the hop extract, the oil from the hop extract. In the UK, this is brewed up in Manchester, and it's obviously, you know, quite popular, and it's being fucking pumped out at a rate of knots. I guarantee you go into most pubs and you'll see Foster's on tap. It has to be one of the most widely available in the UK, but it's just terrible. It really is. Anyway, is it terrible? Let's get it open and find out. Right. Now I'm just going to drink it out of one of these glasses because, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to drink this can. But I could be wrong. And there it is. In a glass. Very pale looking. Let me get a little bit more out of this. And this was renowned as the Amber Nectar. And I don't know, that looks a bit lighter than it used to. It used to look really, really orange years ago, and I always used to question people who were drinking it. I say, how the fuck have they got that beer that orange? That is not done naturally, and it looks to be the same sort of orangey hue, but it looks a bit more golden than I remember it. And there looks to be a lot of nitrogen in there as well. Can you see the bubbles are very small, the carbonation is very small, and the head is tightly packed. So that could be. What are we getting on the nose? Very little. Some lemon citrus. Bit of grain, malted grain. Lemon citrus and a little touch of bitterness. Alright, wish me luck. Cheers. You can taste that glucose syrup. It's quite sweet. I have to say, the mouthfeel is really good. It is so smooth. It's almost like it's flat, but it is. There is a little bit of carbonation in there. I'm getting some of the nastier nifs coming out of it now. Do you know what? It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for that glucose syrup, but it's just so fucking bland. It just doesn't really taste of anything much, apart from that little touch of lemon citrus, a little touch of that sweetness. I have to say though, if you look at that, there's hardly any carbonation in there at all. Now I remember Foster's from years ago, that used to be full of carbonation. I'm sure they must have shot something into this. It just doesn't taste nice. No, that's a lie. I'm not saying it doesn't taste nice. it just doesn't really taste of anything. And I remember one of my mates, Phil, now he was an absolute real ale aficionado. The pub we used to drink in, occasionally the ale would be off. At that point in time, I was just drinking Guinness, and the Guinness was really good in that pub, but the ale sometimes was dodgy. And he somehow got onto drinking Foster's. I think at one point all the ale was off and there was only lager, so he started drinking Foster's. And his reason for drinking Foster's, he says, it just doesn't taste of anything. I can drink lots of it and it goes down quite easily. And his exact words were, it's like a blank canvas. He said it's just nothing. And that's a pretty good description of it, because it's just fucking tasteless, really. As I say, it's just that little bit of glucose syrup, that sticky, horrible glucose, artificial, macro brewed type stuff, and not a lot else. There's no big flavours in that. That it started smelling a bit nasty now, like a gone off grain, and just a not nice aroma or flavour. So yeah, you'd have to be fucking desperate to drink this stuff. So what's the verdict on Foster's? Well, you know, you can have all your advertising campaigns in the world. You can get fucking Crocodile Dundee, or what's his name, Paul Hogan. You can get him to advertise it. You can do all you want, you know, the Australian for beer, the amber nectar. At the end of the day, it's just shit. I'm sure people like it, and if they like it, then who am I to say that this is crap? But it's crap, in my opinion. And I sometimes say to people, why are you punishing yourself drinking this shit beer? And they just don't like anything else. And you don't want to get onto the stage where you're trying to preach to them, because they don't want to hear it. They know what they like, and they'll just fucking drink it. And if you keep on at them, you're going to sound like one of these fucking Jehovah's Witnesses or something. So I've given up trying to, I'm not going to say educate, because that sounds patronising, but trying to give some people tips on, there's better beer out there. But some people just insist on drinking this. I'm not going to drink it. That's going to go down the sink. That is going to get, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give it a 1 out of 10. And I know it's probably my prejudice coming in, but I remember this never tasted good. I never ever really liked it. It gives you a fucking nasty hangover as well. On the time and the rare occasions, you could probably count them on one hand, I have drank this all night. I have had the mother of all hangovers, and I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's just the crap that's been put in here. Not nice. Don't like it. 1 out of 10. Not recommended. And remember, I'm drinking this shit, so you don't have to.